Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. I would like to say thank you for coming to my presentation. It's a pleasure to see you all. Firstly, let me introduce myself. My name is Aprili Rizky Syawalia, and you can just call me April. And I'm from Department of English Education, employee class in 4th semester at PANCA SAKTI, University BEKASI. In this presentation, I'm going to talk about tips for successful presentation. This will be in 5 parts. In the first part is talking about how to create the topic. Then the second part is talking about how is the format for presentation. On the third part, I will talking about what should be considered in creating presentation content. The fourth part is talking about the preparation before the presentation day. And the last part, I will going talking about what should we do at the day before presenting our material. So, Abraham Lincoln said, "Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe." What Abraham Lincoln explained by this quote is that it's futile to take a project without preparing for it first. And when we talk about presentation, all of us have at some point been bored to tears by a presentation. And if you are lucky, you have also been informed, excited, and inspired by an outstanding one. Nobody wants to be a presentation zero. Whether you are an experienced presenter or just starting out, there should be idea here to help you to improve. Now, let's move to the first part of my talk, which is about the topic. First thing when you create the topic is love your topic. Your listeners will only ever be as excited about the topic as you are. If you are not interested in what you are saying, why on earth are you inflicting it on other people? You are hardly going to give a good presentation if word doesn't inspire passion. But you should always look for a hook, an exciting way in. After you decide the topic, you do research. Know what you are talking about. Don't guess, don't assume. Read, listen, find facts, and have an informed opinion. After that, watch the context. Presenting a learning material that you find interesting will sound very different when you give it to a fellow teacher and when you show it to the students. Think about your audience and tailor your topic to the way they think and prioritize. And your topic must relevant. Have an answer to the questions, why should anyone care? And last, don't forget to distill to a single point. By the end of this stage, you should no longer have a topic but a single clear theme or argument that you want to communicate. Keep it simple, keep it interesting. So now we come to the next part, which is the format. There are 5 things to consider. First, time limit. There will be one, and if there isn't, make one. Then aim to fill 3/4 of it and leave time for question. Rest restriction helps you focus on what is truly essential to the presentation. And the second, plain on paper. Okay, it doesn't have to be a paper. It could be OneNote or mind mapping software or Evernote. The point is, you need to be able to pull your idea and the image together, move them around and play with structure first, then decide how to present it second. And the third, PowerPoint. There is a lot of debate about whether PowerPoint is good or evil, but the fact is it's the standard. That doesn't mean that you have to use it in a standardly bad way too. This is a tip from Guy Kawasaki of Apple. He suggests that slideshows should be the 10, 20, 30 rule. Contain no more than 10 slides, last no more than 20 minutes, and use a font size of no less than 30 points. Fourth, slides should keep you going, not hold you up. Consider the Pekakuka or Ignite methods, where you have a set amount of time on each slide, which then advance automatically. And last part of this part is image inspire. Don't fall back onto boring stock photography and clip art. Consider using your own personal photographs or explore creative common sources like Flickr for more intimate and relatable imagery. Just be sure to check the terms of the license if you are giving a commercial presentation. Let's move to the next part, which is the content. What should be considered in creating presentation content? First, short and sweet. This applies to the presentation as a whole and each word you use. Stick to short words and avoid jargon. Then, tell a story. People respond to stories. Everybody creates narratives. It's how we understand the world. Find the story in what you want to say. Next is use examples. Presentations can often get a bit abstract. Keep your points grounded in reality and use everyday experiences that anyone can relate to when explaining complex ideas. After that, preempt questions. In Writing to Deadline, Donald Murray explains that to write well, you have to keep answering the reader's questions. What will they want to know next? The same goes for presentations. Of course, you want to spark interest and debate after your talk, but make sure no one has to ask an obvious question. Also, know what you can leave out. Questions can arise. People arrive late. Sometimes things don't run to plan. Know in advance which slides and points you can skip without losing key points or narrative flow. Now, let's move on to the preparation. There are also 5 points involved. First, know how to use your tools. If you are using PowerPoint, be sure you understand how. For example, pressing B will blank the screen so that you can focus attention on what you are saying. You can also end the hidden clickable areas that take you from section to section. And the second, rehearse. You have to practice. You need to be familiar enough with your presentation that if the power fails and notes get lost, you could still communicate the core of your message. Go through the presentation 3 times in the morning and 3 times at night in the run-up to the day. Any more than that, and you risk sounding over-rehearsed. Third, plan your outfit. You will have enough to worry about on the day. It may seem silly, but don't leave it to the night before you decide what you are wearing. Choose it, check it's clean and ironed, and hang it up ready to fall into on the day. And fourth, get a lay of the land. If you can, try to find out what room you will be presenting in and exactly who you will be presenting to. Will you have to project your voice, or will it be relaxed and informal? Is it always freezing in there? Are the chairs uncomfortable? These factors will affect your audience attention span, and for those things out of your control, you need to be conscious of them in how you present. And the last of this part is run a fact check. You did your research, but often in companies, things can change pretty quickly. There might be a new budget forecast or a change in the hierarchy. On the day before, make sure your presentation is as up to date as you are. Okay, now we come to the last part, which is the day. It's the day when the show will begin. So, firstly, you must take everything you need and a backup. Have your laptop cables and connectors. Take a backup of your presentation on a memory stick in case you have to use someone else's hardware, and have some bullet point notes about the slides in case all technology fails. And you should edit early. Don't get flustered. Have time to find the loose, short the technical stuff, get a drink, also avoid coffee and chocolate just before, as they are bad for the vocal cords and you will find yourself cold. And also warm up. And don't forget to warm up. There are lots of ways to relax and loosen up before a presentation. This is important when we talk about presentation. Connect with your audience. Don't just run through the presentation by rote. Watch your audience to see if they are engaged. Listen to murmurs and change tack if brows are furrowed. Be engaged to get engagement. And last, share and follow up. Think of a way to share your presentation with attendees after the event. For example, with slide share, send a follow-up email, thank people for their attendance, and invite questions and feedback. Keep the conversation going. Finally, I suggest you to adopt the advice of Steve Jobs. People who know what they are talking about don't need PowerPoint. While we realize that Jobs is dissing his direct competitor, Microsoft, the point stands true. PowerPoint is a tool to visualization, and it should not be the focus of your presentation. And that brings us to the end. Now, I'd like to thank you for taking time out to listen to my presentation, and I like to apologize if there are mistakes. I hope what I have shared will be beneficial for all of us. Also, I'd like to be very interested to hear from you with your thoughts or questions, please feel free to leave one in the comments below. So, see you and have a nice day. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.